welcome to our channel today. So today's video is about how to teach children with learning problems. So in my previous videos or on the series of slow learners and learning problems, you would have seen I would have shared like different strategies, different techniques, fun games and activities to teach children with learning problems. So how do we teach reading, how do we teach math, and how do we teach numbers, alphabet, all that concepts. But in this video I'm just gonna focus on some general pointers that needs to be kept in mind when you teach children with learning problems. So let's move on to the video. So as a parents, we might be aware of few things and might not be aware of many things. Okay, so we might be always have lots of confusion in our mind whether we are doing something on the right side or on the wrong side. So this video would give you what do's and don'ts of teaching children with slow learning problem. Let's see what are those. The first one is attention breaks. It's very important you give attention breaks for children with learning problems. So any child will not be able to focus for a longer time. Okay, so and it varies according to their age. When you see about toddlers and preschoolers, it would be somewhere around 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and after that they might need some kind of break from their work or from their activities so that they will be able to concentrate better on that area. And whenever you give a goal to them, make sure that you are dividing it into different levels. Okay, I'm not just talking about preschoolers, to any child with any kind of problems. It is always better that you break the entire goal into few step activities. Okay, so at each level, if the child is able to do it well, please appreciate the child for what he or she did and then go for it. So it's always a big goal that is being broken into smaller goals, and that is something which is being executed, and you give breaks in between that. And getting a break in between would really help your child for a better brain development and refreshment, because the child's physical function, the physiological functions and the reactions and even the psychological aspect of it gets refreshed, and the mind would be more fresh when the child comes back after a break to learn something nice. And the second one is age appropriate task. This is the very important component or something that needs to be kept in mind, is like make sure that you give a very age appropriate activities for your child. So don't give any complex activities comparing to the level of the child. So initially you have to gauge the level of your child. What is the level of the child? Where is he standing on the reading, or where is he standing on the math, writing, or whatever it is, and give goals that is matching to their needs and somewhere they can develop on. Giving complex activities would actually have an opposite effect on our intention, because when the level of difficulty is higher, the children might quickly lose interest on doing that particular activity, and that would lose the motivation, and my child might start giving up early. In the same time, giving something very easy is also not very right, because giving very easy simple task would make them take that particular task or activity very lightly, and again they might get a boredom because this is something that they are already aware of it. So right length of time to expect a child to focus on one activity is usually 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, according to their age it goes. Okay, and make sure that you are able to gauge that exact time, right length of time what you can engage the child in activity. And if short activities with some challenge in it would make it more interesting, but challenge that are very difficult to achieve, the child would gradually start spending less time and less motivation on those tasks. And also give short activities with adequate breaks, so that child would gradually start to spend a little more time as he keep on maturing with his age. And the next one is praise. And usually what we do is, whenever the child does something very nicely, you appreciate the child, but the outcome, But when it comes to some kind of effort that the child is taking, we hardly notice it. We usually focus on the outcome and not on the process. But that is something that we have to change in our parenting style or teaching style or learning process. Okay, because whenever the child is making some effort into a task, it can be a reading or writing or something, start acknowledging that and start appreciating their efforts. So just say, all right, plus, wow, that's well done, that's a great job that you are able to do it. Like for example, if you are asking a child to write a word, like for example super, you want the child to write that word super, and the child is not able to write, but the child was able to hold the pencil and write something which is closer to that word in between the lines, then focus on that. Wow, that was good try. You were able to hold your pencil very rightly and you were able to write between the lines. That's like a very good point. No, that's something that you had achieved. Very nice. Super. I'm very proud of you. So incorporate those words, because that would help the child to have a confidence in himself or herself that they can do much more better, rather than criticizing on things that they haven't done. And then daily routine. It is very important that you set a daily routine for a child, with all their activities, whatever their homeworks or class timings, the food schedule, all that. It is very important you have a daily routine, and you have to teach the child with all the activities and their patterns and all that, so that when children know what's coming next, they will also be like involved and inclined more to getting involved into that task. So for example, if I'm gonna brush my teeth and then I have to clear up my bed, and after keeping my bed clear and all that, I'm gonna have breakfast, so that I know once I finish this, I'm gonna get my breakfast, and after my breakfast, I'm gonna get ready. So if the child is knowing what is next, they will be more interested and inclined in involving in those activities. Okay, and if they know it is an indoor playtime, or if they know it is an outdoor playtime, they have a good mental picture of what they are expected to do it. So this would actually decrease lots of problem behaviors in children. And the most important, sleep and nutrition. When it comes to focusing or attention or any kind of academic related activities, first thing the parents has to check is there anything that comes in the way for attention. Like for example, if the child is deprived of food, or is he feeling hungry, is he feeling is he feeling very sleepy, or is he deprived of sleep, we should able to identify that, because having a healthy diet and sleeping is very important to have a child's ability on concentration. Okay, so it is very important that the routine should have a proper sleep hours and healthy breakfast. And also, when you give a child a food before a snack or a food before your teaching process or any kind of activities, make sure that you healthy, and at the same time it is not containing more of oil content, sugar content, and caffeine content, because all these things would really impact the child's ability to concentrate on their task. So having a good number of hours of sleep and healthy diet is very crucial in child's ability in learning process. And the next pointer is about learning style. So in my previous video I did discuss this in detail, that is learning style is something we call it as preferred style or the preferred way of learning. So each child will have their own unique way of learning things. Okay, and it is very important you identify what is their preferred way of learning, and if you are able to incorporate those kind of activities into the teaching learning process, then the whole process of teaching becomes much more easier in nature. So there are mainly three components. One is kinesthetic learner, so they like to do and learn, and next is visual learner, so they like to see and learn, and then auditory learners who likes to listen and learn. So identify which combination or which one is more dominating in your child, which is the one which they enjoy the most, and once you are able to crack that, then it is easier for you to teach and direct all your teaching process into that direction. So you would have more activities on that particular domain than the others. So in that way the child becomes more interested in the teaching and learning process, and the whole experience would become a enjoyable one. So I hope all these pointers would have been useful for you, and thank you for watching this video, and please like, share and subscribe our channel if you find this video useful. Spread the rays.